Level 1. The invitation. You wake up, broke. Rent's due in 6 days. Your bank app shows $214. You've applied to 9 jobs this month. Silence. Then, an email. No subject line. Just a name. Winter and Cole Private Holdings. You almost delete it. Something stops you. You open it. One line. We noticed your work. We'd like to discuss an opportunity. No company logo. No website that loads properly. Just a phone number. You call. A woman answers. Calm. Precise. Like she's read your whole life before you said a word. We need someone who can keep quiet, she says. Can you keep quiet? You say yes before you even know what you're agreeing to. She sends an address, a private office on the 40th floor of a building you've walked past 100 times and never noticed. You put on your only decent shirt. You go. The lobby is glass and silence. No one asks your name. Someone already knows it. Upstairs, a man in a suit that costs more than your car owns hands you a single folder. Deliver this. Don't open it. Don't ask questions. Come back here at 6 p.m. Inside the folder, nothing you can see. Sealed. He hands you $2,000 cash for one errand. Your hands shake. You've never held that much money that wasn't already spent in your head. You deliver the folder to a man outside a coffee shop. He doesn't say a word. He just nods and walks away. You did it. You don't know what you just did, but you know one thing. You're going back at 6 p.m. Level 2. The taste. The money doesn't last. Money like that never does. But the phone rings again. Same woman, same calm voice. You did well. We have more work. This time, it's not a folder. It's a black card. No name on it, no number you recognize. Use it, she says. Don't ask what it's for. You buy dinner you can't normally afford. You buy a suit. You buy silence for your own doubts. The card never declines. You start noticing things about the people around this world. The receptionist who never blinks, the elevator that requires a code, not a button, the man in the corner office who has never once raised his voice, yet everyone moves out of his way. You're told his name is Mr. Voss. You've never met him. You've only felt the room change when someone says it. Your next task isn't a folder anymore. It's a phone. You're told to carry it everywhere. Answer on the second ring, never the first, never the third. It rings twice a day, each time a location, each time you go. Each time you don't ask. You tell yourself this is temporary. You tell yourself you'll stop once you understand what this is. But the truth is, you've stopped wanting to understand. You just want the card to keep working.
Level 3. The room with no windows. 6 weeks in, you're summoned somewhere new. A basement. No windows, no signage. Just a steel door and a scanner that reads your face before you knock. Inside, screens. Dozens of them, numbers moving, currency symbols, company names you recognize from the news, quietly bleeding red or green depending on something you can't see. A man named Adrian greets you, young, sharp, cold eyes that have already decided what kind of person you are. You're not an errand boy anymore, you're an asset. He explains nothing, he just hands you a laptop. Your job, move numbers between accounts. Nothing illegal, he says, just structuring. You don't know what structuring means. You learn fast. It means hiding money so well that even the people looking for it can't find where it starts or ends. Every transfer earns you a percentage. Your first month, $18,000. More money than you made in the last 2 years combined. You buy a better apartment. You tell your family you got a finance job. Not a lie, not the truth either. At night, you start Googling structuring finance illegal. You close the tab before it finishes loading. Some part of you already knows. You just don't want to know it yet.
Level 4. The first line you cross. The call comes at 3 a.m. Not the woman this time. Adrian. We need you at the warehouse. Now. You've never been to a warehouse. You didn't know there was one. It's outside the city. No lights on the road. Your headlights are the only thing cutting through the dark. Inside, crates, men who don't introduce themselves, a smell of diesel and something metallic you don't want to name. Adrian hands you a duffel bag. Count it. Don't ask where it came from. You count $400,000 in cash. Your hands are shaking again, but this time it's not excitement. It's fear.
You realize you're not moving numbers on a screen anymore. You're standing in a room full of real, physical, untraceable money. And real money like this only exists for one reason. Someone doesn't want it traced. You finish counting. You say nothing. Adrian smiles. Good. You didn't ask questions. That's why you're still useful. Still. That word sits in your chest the whole drive home. You realize something for the first time. You're not being paid for your skills. You're being paid for your silence. And silence has a price that keeps going up. Level 5, the penthouse. 6 months in, you're moved. New apartment, top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a city that used to look impossible to reach. A stylist is sent to your door. New wardrobe, new watch, new haircut. You represent something now, the woman on the phone tells you. Look the part. You finally meet Mr. Voss. He doesn't shake your hand. He studies you, the way you'd study a stock before buying it. You've proven useful. Now you'll be visible. Visible means galas, yacht parties, rooms of people worth more than small countries speaking in numbers instead of names. You're introduced as an investment partner. No one asks what you invest in. No one ever does in this world. You drink champagne that costs more than your old rent. You shake hands with men whose companies you've read about in headlines. Headlines about layoffs, about lawsuits, about deals that ruined lives you'll never meet. They smile at you like you belong. For the first time, you almost believe it. Late that night, alone in your new penthouse, you look out at the skyline. You think, I made it. You don't yet understand. You didn't make it. You were placed.
Level 6, the machine. By month 9, you understand the shape of it. It's not one business. It's a machine with 100 moving parts, and you're one gear among many. Shell companies in Delaware, trusts in the Caymans, real estate in Dubai bought under names that don't exist. Art bought at auction for absurd prices, not because it's beautiful, but because art is the easiest thing in the world to move value through without anyone asking why. You're given your own shell company now, your name on the paperwork, your face the one the world will see if the world ever looks. You are, on paper, worth $40 million. None of it is really yours. All of it can vanish if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person. You start managing your own small team, 3 people who look at you the way you used to look at Adrian. You give them tasks. You tell them not to ask questions. You hear yourself say the exact words that were once said to you. For a second, something in your chest goes cold. Then the feeling passes. The money makes it pass faster every time.
Level 7, the price of power. A journalist starts asking questions. Not about you specifically, about the network, about Voss, about money that moves through cities without ever touching them. Adrian calls you into a private meeting. We need to know what she knows. You're not asked to hurt anyone, not directly. You're asked to handle logistics. Find her patterns, her routine, who she talks to, where she gets coffee, what time she leaves the office. You tell yourself it's just information. Information isn't a weapon. Except you know, deep down, that information is exactly how weapons get aimed. 3 weeks later, the journalist drops the story. No explanation given publicly, just silence where an exposé should have been. You never ask what happened to make her stop. You already know the answer would break something in you that you're not ready to lose. The last part of you that still believes you're a good person just making good money. That night, you don't sleep. You stare at the ceiling of your $12,000 a month penthouse and realize you're not scared of getting caught anymore. You're scared of what you've already become. Level 8, the inner circle. You're finally brought to the room above the room. Not the basement with screens, somewhere higher. A private floor that doesn't appear on any building directory. 12 people sit around a table. You recognize 4 of them from magazine covers. Self-made success stories, tech visionaries, philanthropists. None of them built what the world thinks they built. They all started the same way you did. A phone call, a folder, a test of silence. Voss stands at the head of the table. Welcome to the only meeting that matters, he says. You learn the real structure, not a company, a network, a web of people who control industries from the shadows, coordinating just enough to keep governments guessing and competitors crushed. You're given a vote now, a voice in decisions that will reroute supply chains, crash smaller competitors, quietly buy up entire neighborhoods before anyone notices the value about to explode. You vote yes on your first decision. It bankrupts a mid-sized company. 400 people lose their jobs by the end of the quarter. You read about it in the news 3 weeks later, described as market forces and economic downturn. You know the real reason. You were the real reason. You close the article. You order dinner from the place you like. You don't feel anything. That scares you more than anything else has so far.
Level 9. The weight of silence. Your family notices the distance first. Your sister asks why you never come to dinner anymore. You tell her work is intense. She asks what you actually do. You give her the same vague answer you gave the world: investments. She looks at you a second too long. You used to tell me everything, she says. You used to be someone who could. Now every sentence you say has to be pre-approved in your head before it leaves your mouth, a habit you didn't notice forming until it already had. You start checking your apartment for hidden devices, not because you've been told to, because you've learned that's what people at this level do. You start assuming every new person you meet has been sent to test you. Paranoia doesn't arrive all at once. It seeps in, level by level, the same way the money did. One night you sit in your penthouse, the one you used to dream about, and realize you haven't laughed, really laughed, in over a year. You have $40 million on paper. You have less peace than you had with $214 in your bank account. Level 10, the rival. A man named Castillo starts making moves against the network. Old money, old grudges. He lost a deal to Voss 15 years ago and never let it go. He starts targeting the weakest links first. You're not the weakest, but you're not the strongest either. Someone leaks documents connecting one of your shell companies to a deal that shouldn't exist on paper. Adrian calls you, voice tighter than you've ever heard it. You need to disappear for a while. Disappear, not a metaphor, a literal instruction. You're moved to a property outside the country. No name on the lease, no phone that can be traced to you, a driver who never speaks. You spend 3 weeks in a house that isn't yours, waiting for word on whether your name will surface in an investigation that could unravel everything: your money, your freedom, your life as you now know it. You start to understand something the people above you learned a long time ago. At this level, there is no retirement. There's only staying ahead or being erased by whoever's coming up behind you.